It's black. It's just faded. Yay, yay. Are we official live? Ciao. Is there a comment section? That was my first no. This is my first time, you guys. This is my first time trying to stream on two platforms at once. Stop staring at my cake. You already had some. Your PJs are on your bed. Whew, y'all. Anyways, let's get into some things. Where do I even begin? I mean, we just went live on TikTok for the first time since my hiatus, my hibernation, spring equinox. It's finally upon us. It's officially my new year. I am out of hibernation. I have officially resurrected, and I'm coming back to run the internet all of 2026. So I hope you missed me. Anyways, let's get a little intro. Let me get a little intro music while we wait for people to get in here. Back in a better had to take a break to catch my breath. Last year I ran the internet, the intersection with the winter solstice. I've been getting rested, plotting on my resurrection. Protect my peace, respect my peace. I even like to rest in peace and not in pieces. I will always choose my peace over pieces. So I set boundaries across the streets. And if it's give and take, you shall receive. Offerings should come on bended knee. Goddess energy, I will bow to none. I exercise freedom when I fight my son. So many dreams, the rewrite of the new Aziz. Please believe they want to, but they cannot be. A soul they cheater. They try to box her in. Soul survivor, try her, but she cannot win. If all else fails, I'ma bet on me. It's cause who I am, not who I'm trying to be. Believe it cause I mean to call it prophecy. Leaving it to the history when I rob you. I got some ancestors who got my back. I got a universe on my command. Some of it's faith and some's plan. Never apologize for who I am. So the days are longer, I am stronger. Solar charged up for longer, brighter, hotter, heat hot off the press. Pressure rising cause it's so precious. Best. I've been quiet all winter, y'all ain't spoke up yet. I've been conscious all winter, y'all ain't woke up yet. This just is live, lights, camera, action. All authentic, truly can't call it action. All else fails, I will bet on me. It's cause who I am, that's what I'm trying to be. Believe it cause I mean it, call it prophecy. Leaning into the gifts, they wanna rob me. I got some ancestors who got my back. I got a universe at my command. Some of it's faith and some's plan. Never apologize for who I am. Yes. Just a little intro, just a little intro. Welcome to my divorce party. Yes, you guys, I have been hiding for a while. I just did this live on TikTok after a while, but I'm coming to Facebook and Instagram, or Facebook and YouTube to bring the whole thing full circle. I'm trying to give folks a minute to get in here. I haven't really gone live on either of these platforms like that before. I've been on hiatus for a minute. I took the winter off to get myself together to really, do the internal work, do the spiritual work, do the work in my life that I needed to do. And so now I'm back, more refreshed, more focused, with a stronger sense of direction and determination. And what way better to kick it off than by celebrating this women's news? For those who don't know, your girl was married, and I finally get to say was past tense because I left my husband back in 2021, and it is now 2026. And I am just now officially finalizing my divorce. So we're going to get into the divorce decree. We're going to get into my divorce cake. I did buy a cheap and not very tasty bottle of Chardonnay to celebrate the occasion. So we here with it. Please feel free to drop your comments, your questions, any of that. This is my first time trying this StreamYard to multi-stream. It's my first time. I really wanted to do TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at the same time, but it turns out I need more qualifications for TikTok or whatever, and I need to be a part of a certain team and stuff and that nonsense. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me now. I am your host, Jay Ajane, the entertainer, aka Benu Aziza, the African fire dancing fairy, aka your favorite Auntie Jai, aka Bush Gal Nay. And it has been some time. And I would like to eventually let y'all know what I've been up to because your girl has been moving in silence and getting things done. I haven't been online as much over this past winter, but I have been active and activated. So with time, ye shall find. Some things upcoming. I have some new music dropping. I just teased a little bit in the beginning of this live. We have Ash Belize's open mic coming up in Placencia this Sunday. I will be there to shut the house down per usual. This Saturday, I'll be outside of Riverside trading, vending some of my delicious vegan food. I just vended at the Dangriga Night Market this past Friday. Wish I had more food to sell because lots more people wanted food than I could actually provide. But great time, great vibes. Thank you to everybody else who came out and supported me for that. No, I did not go to Bogoti. Bogoti happened to happen this year at a very spiritually sensitive time for me. And I chose to go camping and be out in nature instead. So I was out there in the bush with my titties out, tapping in and tuning in. Y'all don't need me anymore. Y'all got it. Now, I will say this, though. Coming back to social media today of all days, especially right after like a Bogota weekend and stuff, my timeline is like flooded. And girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? No, seriously. You know you're not supposed to be on my live. You know that. Well, laying down over here on me right now is not an option. I already explained to you. And the fact that you're doing this right now is very messed up. We already talked about what the deal is. I'm a mom first, you guys. My 5-year-old is around, and of course, kids. If you have kids, then you know, right? Are you supposed to be messing with that? Is that yours? So should you be touching it? You act like I won't cut this live off and deal with you. Because I will. Carry that and its sound out of here. We don't want the noise in the background. And I don't want you telling me I need to be quiet when you come into my space. You still need to hear what it is you're doing. Go carry it outside of my room. If you want to use it, that's fine. I'm already giving you special privileges for tonight. Don't get them taken away. Appreciate the privileges you do have and use them. Anyways, I'm back. Where was I? Yeah, and I've only seen little bits and pieces because I continue to scroll or do what I need to do. I really am not interested. I'm not interested. That's one thing, y'all. One thing my time off screen, one thing my hiatus has brought to me is I never really scrolled on social media, but I really, your girl is not pressed. Not pressed. I wasn't interested in being a part of a lot of that, and I'm glad I wasn't. So, yes. Anyways, you guys, please tap your screens, like and share the live, etc. Let me get into my theme music, and then we can get into the divorce party. How are we feeling the look? Yeah, I still got my glasses on, but how are we feeling the divorce party look? I'm wearing my little black dress because it's giving funeral-esque. I've got on my black lip. I even put on my kufi. I did make this myself. If you would like one in time for Easter, DM me to make your order now. But let me get into a little theme music, and then we can get into our divorce party, y'all. We got We have the receipts that the divorce is officially final. We got a quick little calculating key to get into. I got a divorce cake and some not very tasty Chardonnay. And I want to get into it all. But first I need a little hype music, right? They want me to come out to play, out to play. And if you don't know, you won't learn how to stay out to play. All this ninja stuff, boosting it up. Acting like I ain't got a boost in the cup. Sipping up on water so I'm juicy, but I keep it to myself like I don't give a fuck. Pushing on the bike like I'm whipping a truck. Swinging in a fist, so they call me a truck. Bro, I need some money if we keep it up. I'm on here grinding trying to get it every second. If I can't be myself, don't invite me. How much did you hype about? Don't excite me. You ain't really want my life, just the highlights. And I'm on my ray gun. If I can't be myself, don't invite me. How much you hype about? Don't excite me. You ain't really want my life, just the highlights. And I'm on my ray gun with the high baby. Got my grind together. You ain't got. All that talk is Yes. Thank you for indulging me a moment. I just need to hype myself up real quick. Anyways, I'm back like I never left. Good when I sat and back and I'm better. Had to take a break to catch my breath. Last year I ran the internet, the introspection. With the winter solstice, I've been getting rest and plotting on my resurrection. Y'all, it's been long overdue, but we're glad it's here. Freedom. Finally, your girl got her freedom papers. This man that I left years ago has been looming over my head like a dark cloud. Yes, I did leave him years ago. And since then, I've had what, 2 sneaky links and 1 official relationship, which goes to show that a lot of men really don't care. A lot of men don't care. But which is good, you know. I think it's kind of good that some of the men that I've indulged with since I left my husband didn't care about the fact that I was married, because on paper, I was somebody's possession, but in real life, I'm not property. You don't own me. You can't own me, okay? And especially since he was both cheating and lying and cheating during our marriage when I was still in the relationship. You definitely can't fault me for leaving the man and then enjoying myself as a grown adult consenting woman. Duh. What do I look like? It's one thing if I wanted to keep my vagina to myself, because that's just how I feel. Like right now, I'm going through another period of abstinence because that's just how I feel. I'll be damned if I kept my vagina to myself off of the strength of being attached to a man that I wish was deceased. On paper, what? No. Anyways, this man has had a child since I left him. He's had other relationships since I left him. So I think it's only right that I've indulged as I see fit since then too. So to the 2 sneaky links I had since I left my husband, shout out to you. You'll probably never get a shout out in this fashion again. One which I also pretend like does not exist, and the other in which that's still my dog. I fucks with you. I just can't fuck you again. Although I think about it from time to time. So this is what happens after 1 or 2 sips of Chardonnay. No, I'm playing. And then to my ex-boyfriend, you know, we still cool. So that's what's tea. I just want to clarify. I want to clarify in the beginning of this live, because there is a lot of people who don't know me like that. My ex-husband and my baby daddy are two different people. Had the baby daddy. I got married when my child was a few months. I knew I was a single mother from the day I told my baby father that I was pregnant. He made it very clear that I was a single mother. So I had been single for a little over a year when I met my husband. My baby was a few months old. And my baby was still she wasn't even a year yet when I left my husband. So there's that distinction. My ex-boyfriend, who people may more so associate with me or recognize from my social media and just seeing us out doing our things. My ex-boyfriend is not my ex-husband, and he is not my baby daddy. I make that clear because those two men are the worst. And my ex-husband or my ex-boyfriend, sorry, my ex-boyfriend wasn't the worst. So I just don't want him getting lumped up with them. He deserves his own little category, of men of my past. So now that that's clarified, let's get into it, okay? I got married on April Fool's Day of 2021. And according to these documents in here, which we will be getting into, sorry, it's got a lot of my personal information on the front. But according to this document here, which we will be getting into, I have been divorced officially since March 5th. But technically, I guess since February something. We're going to get into that. I want to give a huge thank you, gratitude, give thanks to the Jubilees Foundation for helping me pay the court fees for my divorce. I want to give a shout out to OJ for filing my divorce pro bono. I guess we could start off getting into that a little bit. For those of y'all who don't know, I've been married for some time now. I could not afford the divorce. It cost $2,500 to get divorced, but only $750 to get married. So I have been trying to leave my husband not even a full month after we got married. He refused to go. He refused to let me go. And it eventually escalated to the point where he went from being first. He was trying to be mentally abusive. Then he was trying to be emotionally abusive. Then he was financially abusive. Then he was physically abusive. And I was already plotting my exit strategies when I noticed those first couple of signs. But what made me say, forget everything, forget my home, forget everything I've built and put into my home, because this man showed up with a backpack to a fully furnished, fully stocked house of greatness, for me and my daughter. And he made sure that by the time he ran through me, he ran through all of my funds, all of my resources. He was selling my expensive personal belongings for drug money right after, while I was with him, and then until after I left him. He was selling my personal belongings for drug money. Anybody who went and purchased some of the most quality goods, especially self-care items that you probably experienced from my husband during that time, you ain't right for that. It wasn't his to give and it wasn't his to sell. A few of y'all. Man, y'all, after I left my husband and came back, one of his homeboys who had been trying to pursue me for a while, who started trying to pursue me after I came back, because a lot of his homeboys was eyeing a girl, but that was a homeboy, so they never, said nothing, but they would constantly be telling him, like, why are you out here acting up when you have what you have at home? Why are you out here doing all this when you have what you have at home? And a lot of times, men who are out there mistreating women, 9 times out of 10, you got boys who want your girl. Fortunately for me, I never crossed those lines with any of his homeboys, but one of them particularly was trying to pursue me a bit. And when I came back and I would go to kick it at his house, I found my stuff at his house. I'm like, I can't even afford these items anymore after what this man did to me. And you got my good shit in your house? You got my good body products, self-care products and stuff in your house? You buy this stuff off this dude? Now, fortunately, when I called him out on it, he did give me my belongings back, those that were there. But a lot of people did not. A lot of people told me he was selling my stuff, but they were also buying my stuff from him. So how you gonna tell me he's selling my stuff and then you buying it at the same time with no intention of giving it to me? I don't know. You can comment below, but to me, that's a bit off, if you ask me. But that's how it was going, child. That's how it was going. But yeah, I left my own house with everything in it. He had depleted all my finances. I left with 200 Belize dollars, 100 US dollars to my name. When I landed in Atlanta and my lead sister picked me up, he's blowing me up, boo-hooing, crying. You know, this man was throwing a whole barbecue in my house with all of his trap friends and homeboys and stuff, knowing damn well I'm a vegan and that this is a vegan house. You're so broken down and distressed because it's been several hours, and I haven't come home. But you're throwing a barbecue at my house with all of your trap friends and all your meat. Huh. Child, some iconic pictures came from that moment. But if you like my wig, then you probably used to like my natural hair. I grew my natural hair to here, actually, about here. If you cut this off, this is about how long my hair was. And I had blew it out for the first time, and it was given this in texture and all that. This is so close to what my natural hair does. Pressed out is crazy. I threw on a see-through skimpy rose black dress. My sister was working at a strip club in Atlanta at that time, and I went out with her, and I had a grand old funky time. I jumped on Tinder, put up my little profile pictures. I'm like, Belizean American baddie, trying to peep what's on this scene. Newly single, ready to mingle. Y'all had a grand old funky time. I sure did. I sure did. When I say every other day, somebody was picking me up, taking me out, treating me good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It took me about, and that fun lasted for about a week, but then I had to get my life back together. I'm like, girl, you only got $100. You got a baby who's barely a year old. You need to go from Atlanta, take your behind to Cali, go home, make some money, and figure out your life. So that's what I did, And then I came back again. And here we are, 2 sneaky links and an ex-boyfriend later. F and F, y'all. F ninja free. F and F. Oh, I'm so here for it. Gratitude, give thanks. Last year, when I started with Hot Off the Press, I didn't know much about Hot Off the Press, and I didn't know much about OJ. It took me several months to realize he's a lawyer. And it took me several more months to get the courage and the good sense to just ask, like, hey, I've been trying to get divorced for some time. Do you know any, you have any resources that could help me with that? Y'all, when he told me he could do it pro bono, I would just have to pay the cost of court fees. I'm like, I cannot believe I didn't think to ask you about this months ago. I could have been celebrating my divorce around my birthday. But we live, we experience, and we learn, right? So instead of experiencing my divorce around then, we're doing it now, just in time for me to come off of my long hiatus, my long leave, my hibernation, if you will, fresh after the spring equinox. I'm coming in with new energy. Thank you for the like. Yes, you guys, please like and share the live. I'm coming in with new energy, and I'm coming in free. Most people celebrate their New Year's January 1st. That's them. According to my spirituality, my New Year's is the first day of spring, the spring equinox, which was this past Friday. So I did what I needed to do. I went out into nature for a couple days. I let my titties swing, bathed the river, did the internal work and everything. And I'm coming back ready to celebrate with you guys, okay? So yes, I have my cheap bottle of Chardonnay. Does not taste great. And I have my divorce cake, which does taste great. It just doesn't, look as good as I was hoping. But it does taste great. So yeah, you beautiful friend. Thank you, Rashawn. I appreciate that. Are we digging the divorce funeral look? This is This celebration here is the funeral to my marriage, okay? We are celebrating the ending, okay, of the chapter. I'm gonna give a quick key. I did this on my TikTok live, but I'm gonna do this here um on Facebook and YouTube. I'm gonna do a quick key, all right? Now, the other day, I was minding my business, literally minding my business at the hot dog house with my big bro. I was selling my vegan double Western cheeseburgers. Bomb. And my bro had been telling me about his other homegirl who is also a Belizean American ex to my same husband, now officially ex-husband. Now officially, I can finally say ex-husband. Oh, gratitude, give thanks. I can finally say ex-husband and be accurate and honest and telling the truth, right? Because even though I left him years ago, the divorce was only recently finalized. Um, but I finally meet her face to face, and she was like, "Yeah, girl, I first met you at Bogota last year, and what stood out to me is like you were so bad. You had them boots on, do. Like I was gassing you up. I was like all up in your mix and following you around for a minute. And in my head, I'm like, there was a bunch of people, you know. I'm like, girl, it's no tea, no shade, but there was a bunch of like I went viral last year with the look, with the moment, with everything, you know. And yeah, some haters when it did what they did online, like right afterwards, you know. But you know, it's just that was one of them things, you know. So that was the first time I met her. I did not know her from a can of paint. Then she says, now this is her telling me the story. She says she seen me around town when she was with my ex-husband, and he pointed me out to her. It's like, oh, there goes that B there. That's my ex-wife. F her. Do. She said she cut him off and cussed him out. She said she cut him off and cussed him out and said, don't nobody get to talk about Bogey boots like that. That's what you kept calling me, Bogey boots. Okay. Like the name, LOL. But, you know, and I'm like, wow, you know, that's so sweet. I was literally minding my own business, navigating life. I didn't notice you or him, but you noticed me and you spoke up for me. And woman to woman, I appreciate that, you know. I don't allow men to disrespect other women in my presence. So I was grateful that another woman acted and felt the same, you know. Then from there, fast forward from there, right? I'm living my life. I'm minding my business. I find out that I can get help with a pro bono divorce. I start that process, right? Then from there, I get through the day after 19th of November, Guard from the Settlement Day here in Belize and Dangriga especially. The day after, I get a message from OJ saying, I just left court. Your provisionary divorce is granted. A provisionary divorce is when they say, okay, you're going to get your divorce, but you have to wait 30 days until it's official in case someone wants to contest the divorce. And in my head, I'm like, ain't nobody contesting shit. It's not you. Ain't nobody contesting shit. Not you. I remember when I was filing for divorce, I said, is there anything I'm going to need from my husband? They said, just a signature. They said, do you think he's going to fight it? I said, he better not. He better not. Because he already took everything from me with nothing to give, you know? So, child, I remember when I finally took him the divorce papers, because he was still staying, he lived up the street. My ex-husband lives up the street when he's home, I guess. When I took him the divorce paper, I said, okay, bet. As soon as I have $8, I will send this back to the lawyers. He said, you don't even have, he's like, you don't even have $8? I almost lost my shit. I almost lost my ever loving mind because no, I don't have $8. And you're the reason why, sir. Did you forget you financially destroyed me? At a vulnerable time, I'm a full-blown single mom, and you chose to blow through my resources, bully me out of my money and stuff until I had nothing left. I couldn't even afford for us to move when we were facing eviction because you put your hands on me. And you're wondering why I don't have $8? It's because of you, sir. That I took a deep breath. When he said that mess, I took a deep breath. I said, no, I don't. And then he want to act like he's big money now because he happened to have $8. Sir, did you forget you squandered bands? Did you forget I put bands in your hand for a business transaction that you never completed? So I don't know if this is what it takes for you to feel like somebody because you have $8 when I don't. Oh, okay, then cool. Just sign the effing papers. And yes, I will take the $8 so I can send this back expeditiously. And did. He signed that paper. I signed that paper. He said, when is it? I said, I'll let you know when it's final. He'll find out when he eventually sees this live, or if he ever talks to his ex or whatever, he'll find out it's official. We're divorced. I thought about texting him a picture because he's blocked on everything. I thought about texting him a picture of the finalized divorce, but he could take his ass to the courts and ask himself. He could pay the $50 for the very nice, divorce decree and get his own copy if he's that pressed. Honestly, no woman in the world should ever marry this man. That was one of the largest mistakes of my life. And every woman that I've come across that has met this man and been and dealt with this man since me, he's the largest mistake of their life too. Did I tell you he shot his first baby mama? I often think, I'm like, I wonder, that's another reason why I don't disclose identities and stuff, because I don't know how she feels about that. I don't know if it was probably, this is a small town, it's a small place. Everybody probably already knew her business when it happened a couple years ago. And I am considering, maybe she doesn't want to relive the trauma, but I knew from then when I found that out the evening we got married. And then later on that evening, I found out he did that. And I was like, oh, this is a problem. So I'm glad I got out without being shot. Gratitude, give thanks. I got out with mostly financial damage, a little bit of emotional and mental, but not too much, because I had already peeped game and knew what it was. And so I had told him to his face, I checked out of the marriage a long time ago. I told him that. I'm like, look, the only reason I told him in this very kitchen right here, I told him the only reason why I'm still physically here is because you refuse to let me go and you refuse to leave. But I am no longer mentally or emotionally present in this marriage. And he was aware of that. Now, what he chose to do with that information, nothing, but continue to, being shit. But when he realized he didn't have a grip or control on me, that's when his tactics started to escalate. It went from cornering me and berating me for at least an hour, telling me how I'm ugly this, I'm an ugly black bee that, don't nobody want me, I'm not all that. Just lying. Just lying. Just lying to me, y'all. And you think I was buying that? No. I started to do him just like my dad, just tune him out. Wait for him to finish, get his tantrum over with. Here's $50, get out of my face. That's what it became. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So anyways, I finally got away from, okay, I got him to sign the divorce papers, cool, sent that in. Now here we are, December. I was told like November 20th that the provisional divorce was granted, but in a month I would be eligible for the final divorce decree, and that was going to cost the court fees, which was $500. So I don't know if y'all remember my divorce campaign or not. Let me see if I can find the video real quick. Hold on. Let me give this a second. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. The divorce decree. Hold on. Not the divorce decree, but the divorce campaign. Let's go here. Give me a second, y'all. Let's see. Reels. Oh, I know for a fact. Why are you coming over here whining? Why? What now, Ajane?
I'm waiting on you to come to put me down, but it takes me so long.
Because I'm gonna take long. I told you that I'm doing this right now. I told you you could have your tablet while I'm going live, and when I'm done, we'll take it and do bedtime from there. Didn't I tell you that? If you're sleepy now, then you need to just go to sleep on your own. If not, you're going to have to wait because I already told you. We already talked about this. I already explained it. All of that. No, you cannot have another sweet. Give me a moment, you guys. I'm trying to pull it up. Because I know I did not only put it on hot off the press. That would be bananas. Give me a sec, y'all. Because before that, shortly before that, I'm almost there. Hold on, y'all. My laptop's gonna die and I'm trying to pull it up. I'm just trying to, you know what I'm trying to figure out? Why is it taking so long to find? Like I wasn't on social media for a while. So it's not like there should be so many posts. What's that? Another haul. I'm also getting frustrated. Okay, there's that one. Okay, and there's this one. So I did my birthday countdown where, how can I turn the camera around? How can I turn the camera around on this thing? Does it let me do that? No. Oh. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I don't know what happened. But story time. Almost 27. 27. Almost 27. 27. You see that? We got the before and after pictures of what this man did to me. Had me looking crazy, y'all. Had me out here looking crazy. Had me out here looking depressed, distressed. I'm close. I'm trying to get to the original. Nope. Where is it at? Here we go. What is going on? Just play the thing. Isn't she cute? Oh, freedom. Freedom. Yeah. Yes. So you may or may not remember that. So now we're at that point. Now, guess what? Guess what I didn't know this whole time? And then the campaign continued, etc. Um, the campaign continued and everything I went through and all of that. When I dropped that video, when I dropped this series of videos, basically saying like, support my business so I can afford the court fees for my divorce. When I did that, apparently my ex-husband's girlfriend, hold on. My ex-husband's girlfriend at the time, now his ex-girlfriend, seen my videos. I don't know if she's seen that video or if she's seen this video. It's giving wind, rain, hair. Yes, y'all. This lady saw my videos and threw him through a wall. She's telling me this, and mind you, I'm in my homeboy's shop. This is like what, 2 weeks ago, minding my own business, trying to sell some vegan burgers. And she comes in and she lets me know, yeah, I've been a fan of you since Bogota last year when you stepped out looking incredible. He pointed you out to me. She said the only reason why I knew you were his ex-wife is because we were walking down the street one day and he saw you and he started talking shit about you. And I cut him off and I cussed him out and saying he don't get to talk about you like that. I said, girl, you told him that for me? She was like, yeah. And then she said she saw my videos later where I was talking about my experience and where I was basically talking about how I wanted a divorce and do. She said she turned to him, her words, not mine. She said she turned to him and she was like, you was abusing Bodie Boots. She said she threw him through a wall. Child, you threw him through a wall for me? You threw him through a wall for me? Girl, that means so much. I don't even understand because I said this on my last live on TikTok, but y'all wasn't on TikTok, so you gonna hear this on Facebook and YouTube. So much of my life, I have been on the rescue team. Okay, so much of my life, I've been the one to be a part of the rescue team for other women, especially in abusive relationships. There are several times, even in college, where I was kicking down doors, packing bags, pulling girls out, pressing boyfriends, all kind of stuff. Like, I was on a team. We gonna get you out of there, sis. So when I finally ended up the one in the abusive relationship, and I realized nobody was coming to save me, I felt really sad because I wish I had the kind of support that I provided, But I did have some support. And this is when I learned that women are the true protectors and providers. Anytime in my life and my experience, majority of the times, I would say 8 out of 10 times, the person who comes to the rescue to assist or to help has been a woman. When I left my husband, it was a woman who helped me sneak some of my belongings out. It was other women who covered for me and who I gave things away to because I knew my husband was going to squander the materials, It was my grandmother and my sister who sent for me. My dad left me. My dad left me to be abused by this man. But my little sister and my grandmother sent for me. My best friend at the time, one of hers, sent for me, My good girlfriends are the ones who covered me, who lied for me, who helped me to sneak some of my belongings out of my house and stuff. It was mostly women who stepped up. And so even though I didn't get the guns blazing like I've been for other women, I have so much gratitude and appreciation. Hell, I'm just now hearing that my ex-husband's now ex-girlfriend not only broke up with him after seeing my story on social media, she also beat his ass. Clock it. I told her, I said, girl, because I didn't know her. I don't know this woman. We just met the other day and she's telling me this. Give me a second. Because I've been talking for some time now. Y'all know, or you may not remember, but once I talk for a while, my nose starts to run. Yeah, so here it is, another woman. Yeah, girl, I broke up with him and I threw him through a wall and I beat his behind, and I'm like, girl, I know his ego could not take that. Are you all right? She's like, well, he did kidnap me and hold me at gunpoint shortly after. And I said, girl, what? She from Brooklyn, she's another Garifuna American, another Belizean American like me, but she from the East Coast. They're a little more rough and tough over there. I'm a bit more laid back, a bit more chill. I said, see, everything that you went through, all that fighting, all that back and forth, all that like gunpoint and all that kind of stuff, I didn't want that for my life. But I'm definitely appreciative and grateful that as a woman, you seen an injustice and did what you did about it. You left him and you got an extra lick in on him for me, girl. Thank you. Because I know how I wanted to act when he first started trying me. I know what I'm used to. He knows just how I can get, but I had a brand new baby. Who wasn't even a year old yet. And I'm back home, but I'm home away from home. So the connections I have, the resources I have, the materials I have, the things that I had in foreign where no man has ever, when I tell y'all in my life to this day, no man ever in my life has tried me the way my husband tried me. He's the first, the last, and the only to try me this way. And the only reason why he felt bold enough is because he knew I was in a vulnerable position, have just moved home after childhood with a brand new baby, and I wasn't locked in like that. I literally was supposed to carry this man to foreign with me, you know. We had plans and everything. I was just about to get the plane tickets to carry him to foreign. You know why he didn't want to go to foreign with me? You know why he didn't want to go to foreign with me? Because he knew he wasn't right and he felt like he might not make it back. You can do with that information what you will. I'm going on with my life, you know? So, hey, it probably was a wise decision on his end. No, I wouldn't own that. That wasn't my intent. Like, I didn't have nefarious intentions for him to come to farm with me. It's like, you helping me with my thing over here, I'll help you with your thing over there, no problem. You know, but when you know, it's that thing inside you when you know you're wrong, when you know you ain't doing right. He couldn't rest about it. Oh well, that nigga could have been situated across the border a long time ago, but his own his own deviousness held him back. That got to do with me. I did what I was supposed to do. Shout out to her again. Thank you for getting some licks in for me. I still to this day wish I could do them how I wanted to do them. I'm not even gonna lie. I still wish I could handle that man the way my spirit wants to handle him. But I gotta let it go. I got to. And I have to just give thanks and take that moment to be grateful for the other women, the other woman who did step in and step up on my behalf. I had to give gratitude and thanks because even meeting with this woman, even her telling me everything that she went through with this man, it just was confirmation to me on that I did the right thing. Not reacting or responding the way that I wanted to in the time wasn't easy and it didn't feel good. Like I felt like I was letting myself down. I felt like I was letting my ancestors down. When I told my little sister what this man did to me and how I need to get out of here, she said, he did what and you didn't do what? She said, Jai, I've never known you to react like that with no man my whole life. She's telling me, my little sister is telling me my whole life, I've known you to be a whole different way when it comes to stuff like this. You mean to tell me you didn't what? I said, girl, I have a brand new baby. And I'm like, this baby really changed everything. Like, I really changed how I move. I changed like all of that. And I didn't realize how much that would be until this moment came. And I had to let go of the knife because my 10-month-old was crying at my feet. And the first thing that went to my mind was, if this thing slips or if anything goes wrong, my baby has no body. Before, when I was single and child free and throwing on my cape and rescuing every damsel in distress, when I was throwing boys across rooms behind my sister, when I was kicking in front doors behind my homegirls, when I was yoking up grown men and stuff, I didn't have, it was just me. So I had all the courage, all the bravery, all the energy. I felt like Superwoman. I'm coming to save you all. Okay? I had this baby. I said, ooh, okay. I gotta adjust how I move. I gotta adjust how I move. I can't be out here ready to go to war for any and everybody. I can't be out here willing to sacrifice myself for others because if something happens to me, my baby has no one. So I froze, every time she entered into the picture when things was getting ugly. I had already made up my mind. As soon as this baby is down, I'm finna act a freaking fool. But just before I acted a fool, each time my daughter woke up, it came out crying. So it didn't go there. And gratitude, give thanks, it didn't go there because unlike the other woman who took it there, I don't have the infrastructure that she has. So my risk assessment was different, But I appreciate her. I appreciate her. Thank you. It feels so good to know that somebody out there rode for me the way I've rode for many women before me, you know, and it's always another woman. So gratitude, give thanks, you know, just gratitude, give thanks, girl. She don't even know, like, she warmed my heart so much sharing her story with me and how her story intertwined with mine. Anyways, you guys, I've spent enough time chatting and prepping the scene. I've jumped all over the place, in and out of chronological order, whatever. So let's toast. Let's toast. F and F, baby. I do. I did. He's dead to me. Oh, I did it backwards. Sorry. Hold on. Rewind. Rewind. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You guys, please like and share the live. Give me a like and share real quick. I'm going to read the official divorce decree. And then after I read the official divorce decree, let me play a little something. Let's get some background music going. Turn it down some. All right, all right. Can you hear the background music? Excuse me. I don't want it to be too loud. I just want it to be loud enough so you can hear. Okay. In the High Court of Belize, AD 2025, divorce. Action number 372 of 2025. Between myself, Ajane Heads, and my husband's name. I am the petitioner. He is the respondent. Decree absolute. And it reads, in my Tyra Banks voice, sorry. Referring to the decree nisi made in this case the 23rd day of January 2026, whereby it was decreed that the marriage had and solemnized on the first day of April 2021 at Integrated Business in Sand Creek District between my name and the petitioner, his name, the respondent, be dissolved by way of consent, and that the petitioner and the respondent have been living separately and apart for at least 12 months since the date of marriage. In fact, it's been almost 5 years. Unless sufficient cause be shown to the court within 4 weeks from the making of this decree nisi, why such decree should not be made absolute, and that no cause having been shown, it is hereby certified that the said decree was on the 11th day of February 2026, was made final and absolute, and that the marriage was hereby dissolved. Dated the 5th day of March 2026 by order of the registrar. I do, I did, he's dead to me. Let's get into the cake. Let's get into the cake. I do, I did, I'm done. I had a little slice to celebrate with TikTok. Now I'm going to have a little slice to celebrate with y'all. Hold on, hold on. I ordered a vegan cake to celebrate not giving you more cake, Ajane. You already had a slice. Ajane, I already gave you a slice. Yes, you guys. It's official. It's been official for a little bit, but I had to wait until my hiatus was done and all the rest of that. But I'm gonna go and enjoy my cake, my Chardonnay, and I will let you to it. All right, I do. I did. He's dead to me. And to any other woman out there, I hope you find your freedom. Your freedom. Yeah, yeah. And I hope you find your peace. And I hope that that bastard that wronged you gets everything that's coming to him with a cherry on top. Until next time.
The letter S. There are two ways to write the letter S. It's capital S, and this is lowercase.